How do you create something like a 360 deal? And then on the other end, you create a lane for AI artists. So how are you going to 360 me? But then you creating artists and putting them in our face like we supposed to get enthused about robots.
What's that?
The robots. No, the robot rappers.
Like how, you know how they had the Tupac sonograms and shit? They making rap niggas out of them now that make albums and perform and everything.
Hologram.
Oh God, I crossed my heart to hope to faint.
Hologram.
Like a computer rapper?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody. It ain't nobody in it.
It's not called a sonogram. It's called,
You said sonogram.
No,
Hologram.
A highlighter. I mean a hologram. Yeah, like.
But that's the reason why.
So ain't nobody controlling them. They rapping on their own.
So what they doing is
They have handlers.
They have people who go in and they have computer voices that sound like your favorite rappers, and they can create songs now sounding like your favorite rapper without the real
like
rapper.
They take 6 different niggas. Like they might take Lil Baby, fucking Tupac, fucking Snoop Dogg, and goddamn Juicy J, and make one voice, computerized voice.
Hard
and
shit.
This is the
God damn. You put all them niggas in one nigga?
Yes, man. Yes.
So
This shit fucked up. So what they gonna do with what the fuck?
So that's
The human niggas not finna stand a chance.
so that's again, that's why a person like me got to speak, because it's almost like, you know, I love our people, but at the same time too, an executive shouldn't be able to tell me when it's time for me to go. When I probably was here before you even knew how to do this. So that's my problem with what they doing in hip hop right now. They trying to make all our stars kids. When I first started listening to hip hop, man, it was grown people doing hip hop. They changed it once they figured out the money. Now think about all the money that's in this situation and in this. You seeing an artist on a damn car commercial before you know what his music is. Don't you see that this is a new way to enslave us, to make us work for every kind of brand out there until it's nothing left? So they use you up. Your career is shorter because now an artist don't even have time to grow to the different levels. He's put out on all platforms as soon as he come out. It burns your brain up before you even understand what it is to be famous.
Them facts right there, good.
You see what I mean?
Them facts.
It's so.
And you don't know what come with this shit, cause you ain't grind, you ain't did shit. You famous.
Right.
You know
Overnight.
what I'm saying? You famous, and nigga, you got the money, and now you gotta go through everything without going through nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't been through shit, but now you finna goddamn be out here and know what to do, how to manage this money. That's impossible.
Right.
And I feel like if I didn't say nothing, see, I don't really care about being friends with people because people know me. I ain't never been to these folk party, no way. I ain't never been under these folk. I ain't never stroked no ball hole, no scrotum, pimp. It just don't come that way. It just, I'm not giving it because the reason why I'm not giving it's just like, at a time when we wasn't accepted, I keep that with me.
Yeah.
And then when I see Luke not get represented, I say, see, I'm gonna keep this chip on this shoulder. It's gonna keep me safe. Because
they had backlash about that or something?
Yeah, it was backlash because how can you have the Grammys and not put the man that made it where you put a parental advisory sticker on your record? Like, that's a part of cultural history.
Right.
And at the same time, that man went to jail for hip hop.
Yeah.
True story.
If he didn't go to jail for hip hop, it wouldn't have been half the stuff that we listen to now. It wouldn't have never been. So when I see that, I just have to speak on it. And again, to all the artists, man, I have no problem with no artists out here. I've never really cared about what other artists do or how they do it. I just was only here to represent how Atlanta do it.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And
Facts.
I have no complaints. I have no desire to change that because when I look at what we have become as a city, I know that energy that they put in us in that night at the Source Awards, it came back and we fed it to the city. And look at the city 20 years later, we still got that thing of we gonna do Atlanta. You know, when you look at Lil Baby, I was so proud of him when he did that black and white song. Like, it just showed his diversity.
Right.
You know what I mean? When people didn't think he had it. So just to watch all the artists, man, watch what Tip done and watch what Ludacris and done. You know, like, I've watched what Jeezy did, you know, like, to live through that and what he did in Atlanta and the club situation was phenomenal. It's like, what Alex AG did for our club scene here, phenomenal.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's the reason why I can really say that, hey man, like, Gip gonna speak, and I'm gonna say the unpopular shit, cause I don't have to really bite my tongue because I fought the fight for us to be respected.
Right.
You know what I mean? So all I can say is, hey man, when I spoke, before I spoke, I went in the studio with that man over to my left, James Worthy, and we went in the studio and I did 5 songs that we just put out. It's only been out a month and we already did 6 million downloads. So for me personally, as an artist that come from a whole nother galaxy, I'm reborn again through music. And I ain't tripping because Goody Mob booked to 2024. So don't never think I ain't moving or doing nothing that's progressive. I just don't care about being famous.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I just see that this is what the business is now. It's about being famous and being a personality. When I'm like, nah, man, this music, man. Let's take the business and all the money talk out of it. Let's get back to, we don't even talk about music no more because everything is a business.
Yeah.
And I didn't come in this business to be about the TV and be about all the other stuff. I only came into this game to be a musician, to be an artist. So I knows nothing else. And I applaud everybody out here that done did extraordinary things. But, you know, some people are here for a purpose and some people are here for other things. I'm just here for music. And at the end of the day, the crown jewel for me, at the end of the day, is always going to be seeing Future
Yes.
Tour the world and do arenas every night, bro. Like, to watch him be, like, come from the dungeon.
Yes. Yes.
And watch him turn me head in the future.
Yes.
And become a whole nother artist. Like, it's been incredible for us as a collective. And I tell people all the time, bro, all of us are still alive because of the music that we created. And everybody can't say that.
So let me ask you this, because you were just speaking on like being a part of the movement to make sure that Atlanta was respected. Let's talk a little bit about you and you being from Atlanta and talk about what side of town you're from and kind of go into that.
I'm from East Point.
Yeah.
I went to Woodland. I went to Woodland High School. I went to Russell High School. I'm from the old Point. You know what I mean? I went to school with Kamala. You know what I mean? I went to school with the Stray Cats. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, it was a whole nother world then. Atlanta was different because Atlanta was really like, it was the Huxtables and it was ghetto at the same time because dudes that came from good households would knock your head off just like folk from the project. Yeah. So Atlanta always been like that, where it don't matter where you from, it's how you get it off. Yeah. You know what I mean? So me just coming up, I come from Ben Hill, County Line, moved to East Point. I met this lady named Jean Carn. She went to Washington High School. She was a pop star, a soul singer from Washington High School. She was the first one that taught me about music. Her nephew was Peebo Bryson. So I used to go with her to her shows at Sensations on the East Side. And at her house is the first place that I met Stevie Wonder. I met New Edition. I met a lot of artists that were considered soul and kind of R&B-ish. So I didn't come into the music business under the moniker of rap. You know, the first place, I remember the first concert she took me to was to the Fulton County Stadium. That was the first time I met Jackson 5 as a kid. So music to me has always been something that you're supposed to change the world when you speak.